Hi, my Facebook friends and family. We're here in studio, myself and Joseph,
Hi, everybody.
and we are here to give you some exciting news.
Absolutely.
Now we're changing. Usually, I split the screen with my viewers, but Joseph is here physically in person, and we are co-authoring a few books together, myself and Joseph. So this is a special connection and collaboration that we're working on. Addie said, "I can't wait to watch this live." And if you're watching, be sure to leave a comment, like, share, and because today we're going to be talking about how to the difference between being an employee, a professional, and also working on your dream of being an entrepreneur and creating your own empire. Because job security is it doesn't matter what industry you're in. There's always some.
There's no such thing as job security. You have career security if you're passionate about what you do and you want to do it and have somebody else pay you to do it, or you want to do it on your own. But there isn't really any more concept of job security.
Okay, amazing. And you know this so well because not only are you a professional, you're a teacher.
Yep.
And you've taught for many years, and you're a special kind of teacher because you invite your colleagues, people like myself, to come in.
Again, I've switched careers, I'd say 16, 17 times in my life. And
Wow.
Part of that was I didn't know what I want to do when I grew up. When I opened my business in 2006, I had a very expensive and valuable life lesson, and that kind of made me reevaluate what I want to do. And I realized I love helping people, so teaching kind of became the option there. But even with teaching now, with what's going on in the government right now, there's less security. So there's a level of what are you going to do to separate and differentiate and kind of stand out from the crowd? And that applies, whether you're applying for a job or running a business and you want more clients, you need to, what's the value added you're going to give to people? What are they going to remember about you so that you have returning business, that you have better opportunities? Kind of thing.
How can we kind of leave a legacy, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. And before we continue, I want to congratulate you and your beautiful wife. You just got married. You tied a knot.
Yep. 2 weeks.
Addie is just like your wedding. I had weddings because we had 2 or 3 weddings between me and my wife, being of different background. But your wedding was very cool. That circle of dance. What do you call that?
The hora. It's a Jewish tradition. When you start a big celebration, you do the hora. It's a kind of
that was pretty wild. That was pretty wild. Phenomenal wedding. It was great guests. Some amazing colleagues and friends were also there. So we had an amazing time. Thank you for inviting me.
Honor and a pleasure. Thank you.
Great wedding. And so today I have Joe on here because he's going to be at my next annual conference called The Power of Collaboration. As you can see all the logos on the backdrop, it's all about collaborating. And I'm not just teaching or telling you should collaborate. We're actually doing it.
Yeah.
And we're collaborating at 2 different levels.
Correct. So
or 3 different levels.
We're actually collaborating a few different ideas, and starting with the fact that you're republishing the book that I published called Canada, Congratulations, You're Hired. It was easier than you thought.
Yeah. So can you hear us okay? If also let us know where you're watching from. If you have any question about getting hired or becoming an entrepreneur or thinking to transition between jobs.
Or doing both, because I'm doing both myself.
Yes.
And then your other book, which is the Entrepreneurship Collaborative, that you've already had a few Facebook Lives with some of the authors. And it's just kind of life lessons learned as an entrepreneur and what are things. And the interesting thing is that it overlaps in kind of any area of life. How are you standing out? How are you, doing more? So take something as simple as, I just got married. There is a level in a relationship. What are you doing to make sure that your wife or partner feels truly loved and feels appreciated, and it's not just the day-to-day routine and we get along kind of thing. So it's no difference in business. Yeah, if you're applying for a job, why is your resume different than, do you have a little bit of color in your resume? Do you have a little bit of personality? Did you tell me the results that you produced? In a business, the way that you keep clients and you get referrals for clients is you've served them so well that there's nothing bad to say about you, and they want to
Totally.
do more business with you. So I love the
Referral.
fact that we're collaborating and we're talking about, let's leverage this and work together on this and make it happen, because it creates a scenario where, you know what, you're very good, let's say, with the social media.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing because I'm still learning the social media. So if I'm learning the social media from you, I can kind of go, okay, I need help with this, but in return, let's do this together, and we all win and kind of move forward with it.
Phenomenal, Joe. And it's just an honor to have you. Also, July 20 and 21 here in Toronto, I'd be relaunching my book. I've just launched this just a month ago in Atlanta. And so it hasn't been launched in Canada as yet. If you're watching here right now and you put book, book, you'll get a free copy of my very own book on how you yourself can become the authority in your area of expertise. And so this is a great collaboration between Joe and I, because what we teach you is don't quit your job cold turkey. Don't just quit.
Again, and this is where I think for myself, there's a separation between go all in and become an entrepreneur, but there's also a level of being responsible and knowing, you just had a kid. I just got married. I want to start a family. So, taking that leap of faith and going, okay, I don't have any income, but I'm going to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Where sometimes it might take 3 to 6 months to ramp it up and get it.
Years.
So,
Brian Tracy said it take the first 2 years building it, the second 2 years paying all the money that you owe from building it, and then till the 5 or 6 years when the money comes in. And
right, and that's where there's and I agree 100%. Love Brian Tracy. There's a level where I'm super excited that he's endorsing the entrepreneurship book, and I get to say that I'm part of that network and part of that idea. But you have to take things in, and I think the biggest problem for a lot of people when they think about entrepreneurship is they think of entrepreneurship as, oh my God, I need to create a Fortune 500 company today. And
so being an Uber driver is an entrepreneur.
Right, but
shoveling the snow for your neighbor is entrepreneur.
Exactly, mowing the lawn and stuff like that. And
Totally.
there's baby steps to do that you can kind of increase the amount of revenue you do because you've done such a good job of servicing 1 or 2 people that they're actually comfortable recommending, and they're excited to recommend you because as long as they get the same level of service, they're excited about it. And I think that goes with anything in life. That Napoleon Hill said it best: when you have a mindset of gratitude and you have a mindset of being of service to people, it's amazing what the universe will provide to you.
Wow.
Right? And so there's a level where everybody has bills to pay, and depending on where you are in life, you might have to only spend weekends right now to be an entrepreneur. And if you're in a position where you have cash flow and you can kind of go, okay, I can't go without income for the next 6 months because I'm going to do all the legwork I need to do and I'm going to invest all the time for it. But, and then it's one thing I learned in business very quickly is know your strength. If you know your strength and you hire people around, one of my clients once said to me, as the president of the company, I should never be the smartest man in the room.
Right.
And when he said that to me, that was so profound to me because there are certain things that I go, okay, this is not my expertise. I might have an interest in it, but I'm not an accountant. I don't know all the tax regulations that an accountant does. So let me hire a great accountant. Let me make sure that they're telling me these are the ideas, these are the strategies, because that's their expertise. Same thing. I'm not a lawyer. I'm going to hire a great lawyer to look at all my contracts, make sure that they're valid, make sure that they're good. So similar, Raymond's an expert in social media marketing. He does quite a bit with live videos and interviewing and so forth. So there's a level of like, okay, I'm not that good at it. There's still a lot I need to learn and how it makes it work. How do you get the following? So as I'm working with you, I'm learning because I'm seeing what you're doing and I'm following what you're doing.
Yes.
And it teaches me how to be a better expert at it as well.
Hey, Ravini, thank you for joining us. That's my sister. She is in the Caribbean island of Trinidad.
Very nice.
And she's doing some amazing... I'm collaborating with her to actually allow for Caribbean students to come up and study in Canada.
Wow.
And so it's all about collaboration, friends, family, like-minded individuals.
Of course.
And so, Joe, having you as a partner is phenomenal because you are the authority in when it comes to finding and getting hired. You owned a job placement agency.
I still do. So I still own a recruiting company, and I've recruited for some of the largest companies in the world, like Tata Consulting Services, Deloitte & Touche, Apex Pharmaceuticals, Acon Construction. And so I enjoy being a generalist and kind of learning about different industries and what they
Yeah, it's
do.
phenomenal.
And in the same respect, that's also why I can coach people so well in job finding, because
Yes.
I understand what the market's looking for.
Right.
And a lot of people go, oh yeah, writing a resume is very easy. You go on Google, you find a few words, and you have a resume. It's not that simple. If somebody's like, yeah, it's $50 to write a resume, and I'm done it in an hour. I check what their credentials are, because there's a lot of people that claim that they know what they're doing, but results speak for themselves.
Right.
So
And so you're phenomenal in speaking the language that the HR department is looking for. Not I could be so qualified, but if I do not write the right words, the keyword, sometimes computers decipher which
Right.
resumes are showed now.
And there's a catch-22 for it, because a lot of people talk about the fact that they know how to do something,
Right.
but there's a difference between saying I know how to do it and saying this is how good I am at it.
Okay.
Right. So I like to use this example when I speak to individuals. I say, okay, so for example, if you're applying to be a receptionist and you tell me that you know how to answer the phone, a potential employer is going to look at you in shock and go, really? A receptionist that knows how to answer the phone? We did not know that. Because unless you live in an igloo, a cave, or a Mennonite, chances are you know how to press the green button and go, hello, how can I help you?
Right.
But if you went to school to be an administrative assistant and you studied how to answer 60 calls a day with 12 different lines, I can measure 60 calls a day with 12 different lines. I cannot measure I know how to answer the phone. So in my case, I've coached over 10,000 people to find employment. I have an 89% success rate of finding anybody employment in any field in under 3 months. And the fastest I've ever found somebody employment is 2 days. A lot of the people I've helped are new immigrants that don't have Canadian experience, that don't know what is the right language or what is the right thing to say, as you said, because it's not just keywords on your resume,
Right.
and it's not just action words. There's a very specific algorithm to how the resume is scored on the platforms like Indeed and Monster and so forth. And I've spent over 15,000 hours learning that.
Wow.
And that's also the reason that with recruiting, a lot of times, job description is very easy to get. Okay, I need someone who's a developer and codes in these languages. But why aren't they being hired when there's so many coders? It's because a lot of recruiters don't look at the corporate culture side of it. There's a very big difference between, let's say, like Tata being an Indian company where the culture is predominantly from India and the decisions are made from India, for example, versus let's say Deloitte and Touche, which is very, professional and proper and everything like that. And it's not so, if you understand the culture, sometimes you're getting yelled at. It doesn't mean you're doing a bad job. It just means that that's the way that people communicate.
Oh, wow.
And so if you understand the differences between culture, it's very easy to fit the technical with the corporate culture, for example.
So that's important. And so if you're understanding, I have with me here Joe, and he's an expert at if you're a professional in a specific area, if you're what are some of the industries?
So I've recruited
accountants,
IT, engineering, law, finance, banking, construction, project management, and I've also coached these individuals and many more graphic designers because once they understand the skill sets of this is the conversation, this is how I set myself apart. So one thing I always tell people, whatever you've done in life, big or small, don't dismiss it, because you might think it's small and insignificant, but that could be the most important thing to the company that's speaking to you, because that's what they're lacking the most.
Right.
And so it's just owning that and owning, here's where I shine. Here's why I'm different, and it applies to everything in life. There's amazing comedians all over the world, amazing experts all over the world that teach leadership and teach all this kind of stuff. But it's, what are they doing that's a little bit different than somebody else? Why is it that their message is more interesting than somebody else's message or more relevant? And it could be, we have a similar background. We both grew up in a third world country, or it could be, I love your story here, so this is what I'm connecting to.
Wow.
It could be your sense of humor. It could be, whatever it is that,
So there's different aspect that comes into the packaging and promoting of oneself in a resume, just to nail the right job.
Anything.
Yeah. But we're let's aim specifically to resume, and this is something you coach clients with. And you're a perfect solution to problems, because employee wants jobs, employer wants the right employee. You are able to sit in the middle and say, okay, if I position you like this to this employer, because each employers are
Yes.
different, not only you probably have a very higher likelihood to get that job, but get more of a bigger offer for that job, the way you shed light on in the resume. Or and you also consult and help and manages high profile individual LinkedIn's profile.
Yeah. So as part of when I do, let's say, career coaching, I actually redo the LinkedIn profile for
Right.
them. And I redo it to the level where, similar to how the databases search resumes, I actually implement the algorithm into your LinkedIn profile so that more people view your LinkedIn profile.
Wow.
By no means am I a social media expert, but let's say on my LinkedIn.
No, not everybody knows everything, but
right, I do know the LinkedIn.
You are the pro when it comes to getting hired.
Yeah.
And it's such an honor to republish this book. The new second edition is going to be more of a. Sometimes people get scared when they you're so well taught out and systematic that you cover everything. But we're actually going to put a more hands-on guide. That's going to be a thinner book where you can just read it quickly and get a job if you can't afford to hire him as a one-on-one mentor.
Yeah.
And it's an entry level. You could read this book and get a job. Or you could call on Joe and say, hey, I need your help to your coaching to revamp my LinkedIn. I need you to just redo, take a look at my resume, see if this is the right way. And let's shout out a few people watching. Dwayne Richards is watching. Love to have you at our book launch, Dwayne. It's in a couple of weeks from now, July 20th, 2-day event. We're going to share the link. Also, we have the beautiful Addie watching. She has the same last name as you.
Coincidence?
A beautiful wife. We have Zabir, my good friend from Guyana, watching. He owns one of the largest car dealership in Guyana. He's also Canadian, but he loves Guyana. Brandy is watching, and of course our co-author in the handbook to entrepreneurship, Becky, is watching. And Becky is a phenomenal entrepreneur. She brings so much to the table. This book has stories of struggle, stories of success, and secret to success for entrepreneurs across the globe. Right now in the studio is Joe. I'm not saying just Joe or just Raymond.
I'm part of this collaboration too for the entrepreneur book, and
I shared other people.
Yeah, and I've shared, these are some of the things that
tell us some of the things you shared in your chapter.
So, for example, the importance of the little things, birthdays, anniversaries, of people that you're working with, going the little extra mile. Just calling your clients like, I know it's your son's birthday, or you're there. You told me last time we spoke that your son was participating in this tournament. How'd they do? It goes such a long way in building that relationship and therefore getting that reciprocative business from a perspective of making sure that there's a level of like, yes, you're right. How many people take the time to really get to know who they're doing business with? How many people, ask the right questions? And, one of the things that I talked about in my book, when I started my business, I was young. I was kind of excited about the idea of being an entrepreneur. And I didn't do my due diligence properly. And because I didn't do my due diligence, I got hit with $93,000 in taxes.
Wow.
And then, I had a business partner that stole over $180,000 from me. And so it stopped me kind of in life. And it's taken me a very long time to kind of get back to now I'm ready to reinvent myself, come out stronger, better. But, one of the things is it's like, don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of lessons, because those lessons will prepare you for being better and kind of preempting things. So, okay, now I'm collaborating with people. I'm like, okay, let's get to know each other a little bit. Let's build that relationship. As we start working together, let's put things in writing so that, even with the best intentions, sometimes things get misunderstood. Sometimes but if there's a paper trail and there is, contracts, it's very easy to kind of go, okay, well, here's what we agreed on. Here's what we discussed.
Right.
And
it's a framework to help. I work with so many people. I have a contract, and some of them are low-level contract in terms of, okay, shoot me an email, I'll shoot you back an email, and at least we have something to hold each other's responsible.
Yeah, it's about accountability. At the end of the day, like, you know, if there's one thing I've learned, there's, you know, as Raymond is kind of putting it, it's all about collaboration and cooperation. It's not about competition because there's abundance in the universe, and you know what? You don't need to have everybody as your client because you won't be able to serve
Oh,
everybody.
totally not. Yeah.
But if you choose who you want to work with and you service them so well that the business will continue, and overall you're going to have much better business and longer business
Right.
because of that mindset. Like, you know, I own a recruiting company. I think that in Ontario, Canada alone, there's between 1,500 and 2,000 recruiting firms that are running right now. And even if
How
they're
many?
all 1,500 to 2,000.
Wow.
So there's about 2,000 employment agencies in Ontario. And even if they're servicing the same client, whoever does a better job of it will earn the business. And if you do a good job following up and doing a good job with interacting with, you know, your clients, then you'll get more repeat business.
Right.
And there's enough business out there to go around. Like, I think last statistic said there's something like between 460 and 500,000 companies in Canada. I'm not counting the US, just Canada. Like, even if I had a team of 100 people, I still couldn't service 460,000 companies. It's physically impossible to do so. And I also understand a lot of businesses will never use my service. Like a restaurant will not need to hire me for recruiting because
Right.
it's a different model to what I like. I deal with the corporate side of things, the head offices, the positions that are usually paying $70,000 or above, where there's more specialization and harder to find. But
Right.
the point is, like, I don't have any stress about competition because I'm like, look, if you did a better job than me, more power to you for doing a better job. That means I got to up my game and I need to do a better job next time. But it's not about competition because there's enough business for everybody to go around.
Oh,
And,
for sure.
you know,
Serve with excellence.
exactly. And I think that when you understand that and you understand, okay, we can collaborate because now there's resources that are being shared. There's you know, networks that are being shared. So as much as, you know, my network's very big compared to, let's say, the amount of followers that Raymond has on YouTube, I'm small potatoes, but it's a different demographic, and we
Yeah.
each have different connections, and my connections might not necessarily be in Raymond's network and vice versa, but together we now have an even bigger network and we have more support and more resources available.
One of our co-author in this book, he's now our co-author because he saw my YouTube channel. He emailed me and said, I love something. I'd like to start a logistic company. I said, come see me. Just come see me. Here's my office address. And we're collaborating on different levels. We're a business partner. He's contributing a chapter. It's you never know. You have to put out good content out there. People
Right,
are
and this is
watching
where
this.
it goes hand in hand because you're collaborating with him in a logistics company, but all of a sudden now you need help finding
Jobs.
truck drivers, for
Yes,
example.
so
You
now-
need to find. So there's like, okay, I'm the recruiter. Let me bring in my expertise and knowledge, help you
Yes.
grow your business. Your business is making money in terms of the logistics and the trucking. I know nothing about the trucking, but I know how to recruit you the right people to make sure that they're servicing your company in a level that makes your company grow by leaps and bounds, and therefore also rewards the people that you hire, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it just kind of bubbles from there, you know. And there's a level where, again, you know, with your background, having started as kind of working in a warehouse, having your forklift license, there's a lot of organizations here that need help finding those, you know, warehouse workers.
Oh, of course.
And again, you and I are talking about collaborating on eventually kind of maybe offering a training facility, and
Right.
then through the training facility, bring them to the recruiting firm to place
So,
them.
one
and,
stop.
And
Yeah.
here's
Come,
the beauty:
get trained, find a job, get coaching, and you're ready to improve. Get some more training and keep improving your life.
and the beauty is that the possibilities are endless when you're open to cooperation and collaboration, because people are bringing in their expertise. You know, there is many courses that kind of say, you know, when you have an idea and you start telling it to people, all of a sudden, if they're excited about your idea, they'll tell you things that you never thought about. You're like, oh my god, I never thought about it. Yeah, can you
Right, of
can you
course.
do this for me, because I didn't even think about what you just said.
Right, of course.
And now we're both doing something that we're excited about, and it balloons from there, and it creates that level of excitement, you know. And it's amazing to me sometimes how many, let's say, executives forget the importance of taking care of their people. I speak to organizations about corporate culture. A lot of organizations preach corporate culture, but they don't understand that you don't need to have a Google budget to have corporate culture. It's just about how
The
you treat.
simple little things.
Like having, for example, something as simple as having a coffee machine that does cappuccinos and espressos in the office that's free. Like, yeah, people love their Starbucks or people love their Tim Hortons or whatever, but knowing that it's free in the office can increase your productivity, and it's scientifically proven that it can increase your productivity by 10 to 20%.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that. Break time, instead of going down the street, starting up your car, and coming rushing back late,
Or
it's right
whatever.
there.
Yeah. And so there's a level where, like, I remember reading this article where downtown in the financial district in Toronto at Bay and Adelaide, there's 4 Starbucks, one on each corner. And they had people count that each franchise can make at least $1 million gross, because the financial traders, when they come down, they don't have time to cross the street.
Wow.
So there's a level where, again, there's 4 of them in one corner and they're each making $1 million gross.
Yes.
But so imagine if you didn't have to come down because you provided a machine that gave them flavored coffee,
Right.
and they can have it in the office. In terms of productivity, because they're not logged off the phone, they're not there, and it also creates kind of that energy in the office because you're not leaving the office to do it; you're there.
So simple out of the box things that companies wouldn't realize.
Again, corporate culture doesn't have to be like, and here's where corporate culture sometimes blinds into like also employee retention, in that not everybody's driven by money or title. Some people want to be appreciated. So, for example, if I use someone who works as an executive assistant, even if you gave them $1,000 bonus, they'll probably need and use the money. But if you spend $300 to take them for a day in the spa, they'll probably give you double the productivity because it's a luxury that they won't allow themselves. And they'll appreciate so much that you sent them on a day to pamper themselves and kind of gave them their salary.
Did I spell cooperate culture?
Culture, correct?
So we're right now, Joe is talking about something phenomenal. It's called cooperate culture. And even as an employee, this is important to you, because you can go to your boss and say, boss, what if we kind of did this thing a little better? I think we can all work faster and better. Or as an entrepreneur, hiring your own staff, more importantly.
But here's the thing, and this is what's interesting, is when you read most articles about why people leave jobs, salary is actually number 7.
Number 7.
The number one reason why people leave their job is because of how they're treated. Because of the fact that there's no room for growth. They're not being challenged. They're treated very poorly in terms of the difference between a manager and a leader is that a manager will micromanage, look at everything that you do and yell at you and scream at you and so forth. A leader, a manager is worried that if you do the job very well, they might be out of a job because you're doing better.
Yeah.
A leader goes, the better you do your job, the better I look because I'm the one that hired you.
Excellent.
So if you get promoted, that means I'm getting promoted because my team is performing at a better level. And there's a huge difference between a manager and a leader because yes, there's leaders that have to be managers because you're managing people, but there's also a level of like, okay, do you understand your staff? Do you understand, like, does your staff have, for example, a 5-year game plan? And for a 5-year game plan, like for some people, they just want to know that they're learning something new. They want to learn that that their work's appreciated. And sometimes just a pat on the back, you know what, you did a great job, goes more than, I got a little bit of a raise kind of thing, or
Wow.
in fact, a lot of times it goes more than a raise. And so a lot of this is, okay, so what are you doing to kind of show appreciation?
Brandy says that's an awesome idea. And Brandy also said exactly. Brandy,
Thank you.
You're watching from Atlanta, USA, and me and Brandy are actually going to be co-authors in another book launching November 2nd in Toronto.
Wow.
So the co-authoring family is just huge.
Right.
And indirectly your family and co-authors, because it's similar series of books.
But again, there's a level where, I know from your background, Raymond, that you've built, you had a trucking company back in Guyana and driving school. And clearly you did something right to be recognized by the president of Guyana for what you did. where people appreciated how you treated them. People appreciated the little things that you did for them. And it doesn't have, and again, and this is where sometimes when I speak to organizations, I'm like, listen, even if you're starting out and you don't have a huge budget, if you have people working in the office, go to the dollar store, buy them a smiley face balloon, buy them a smiley face stress ball or a silly stress ball to have on their desk. It's amazing. I was living in Vancouver in and around the Winter Olympics around 2009. I was working for an organization that has private colleges all over Canada. And they asked me to build a call center. Expectation was that the call center will generate $300,000 for the year.
You're working for a college who asked you to build?
No, like the company that owned multiple colleges.
Yeah.
And so I decided I'm going to have a lot of fun building my team and treating them. So first day of work, I bought everyone a gift back from the dollar store with like some stickers, funny stress ball, a funky pen, some chocolate. And I was like, listen, this is going to be your work here for at least 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Make it fun. Make it your own.
Totally.
Right? In top of whatever I bought you, I want you to go spend at least like up to $30, buy something like a flower, buy whatever that makes you.
Really?
And I'll give you the money back.
Interesting.
I gave everybody on the team a nickname. Every Monday we celebrated what they did well. And then when I asked what were some of the obstacles that you didn't kind of know how to overcome, I let the team answer first. As a result of building that culture of supporting and believing in my staff, the team did $2.25 million in less than 6 months on an expectation budget of $300,000 for the year. And, there was such a
That's
good
the true meaning of cooperative culture.
Right. And this
Gone in and you hands-on fix the problem.
Right. And this is where something as simple as, like every Friday I would buy donuts or a bag of chips for the team. So they got so excited about having snacks on Friday that they actually created a schedule that every Friday, one of the employees would spend, let's say, no more than $10 to buy some cookies or to buy some that and have some extra food in the office. But again, it was just because I started something as simple as I'll buy you some cookies or I'll buy you some Timbits and have that as I so appreciate the work that you do. I'll never forget one of my best there. My boss, the VP, kind of told me, this week we need your team to do $150,000 in revenue. I said, okay. So when we had our Monday morning meeting, I told the team, this is our targets. I said, if you guys hit your targets, I'll reward the team. By Wednesday at 3 p.m, we were at $220,000.
Oh, halfway through the week, you all.
Already. So I already told the team there. So what I did Friday.
What you did is now you're thinking ways to drive the flock. You actually put the responsibility on everybody's hand, because you may come up with a way that you think is the best, but everybody learns differently, operates differently.
So what happened is by Friday, I think we did $340,000. At lunchtime, I bought everybody on the team movie tickets, and I gave them gift certificate to buy as much food as they want.
Wow.
There. And I sent the entire team, and I said to them, since somebody needs to be here, I will stay here and answer phones in case anybody calls in, because it was an outbound call center.
Yeah.
But this is on me. So here's your gift certificate. And my VP called me, goes, did you just send your entire team to the movies during work hours? I went, yep. And he looked at me and goes,
oh, during work hours?
Like at lunchtime. At lunchtime. I sent them at lunchtime, and I covered the afternoon myself there. And I said, yeah. And he's like, are you crazy? Like, your entire... I said, yeah. He's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, listen, I'll tell you what. If next week we don't beat the numbers we did this week, you can fire me. Next week we did $450,000 during the week.
Wow. Because
they so appreciated that. I paid them for their afternoon to go to the movies.
That's huge.
I bought them
I want to go
tickets.
to the movie. I got free tickets to go to the movie, but I just don't have the time right now.
Right, but that's what it. And not only did I buy them their movie tickets, but I bought them snack vouchers so that they all could, not just one snack, but they could feast, basically.
Wow.
So they were so excited with the fact that I did something for the team and I showed them the appreciation. And then again, in the grand scheme of things, it cost me $200.
Right.
Or $300, let's say, for the team, right? Because we had a corporate account anyhow.
Yes.
But that $300 generated $450,000 in revenue. And it's such a simple thing. And,
And I got Brandy is my co-op. I met her in Atlanta. I have to do that correction. I met her at the Unleash Your Greatness event with my partner, Dr. Obam, at Dr. Obam's event. She's from Richmond, Virginia. And let's see what else she said. This is an excellent cooperate. That's an excellent cooperate culture. Yeah, Brandy, I love your live videos that you do. Thank you for sharing this video also. And I want to correct. You said the president. Forgot it was the vice president.
Okay,
Yeah,
I apologize.
Yeah,
So,
I don't want to get in trouble.
but,
I went in and consulted on road safety and security at the Ministry of Security in Guyana. As a
right,
consultant.
but obviously, so you did something right in the school to be recognized at that level.
Right.
And again, it might be different ideas than what I just talked about, but
Mhm.
it's the same idea in terms of taking care of your people and taking care of, let's say, your instructors, making sure that not only are they teaching safety, but they're also teaching, they have a passion for it. There's an
Right.
excitement, there's a level of energy. And I think this is something that more and more in organizations, there's a lot of talk. Oh yeah, we have corporate culture. Like, look at this wonderful commercial that we have. But when you go speak to the people that work there, as a recruiter, whenever I go to a new client, the first thing I do is I look around at the faces of the people that work there. And I tell the client, before I start recruiting for you, I want to privately meet at least 5 of your staff.
Wow.
Because I want to talk to
Get the
them
culture.
about get the culture side of it, so that I really understand what it is that you're looking for in terms of people
Wow.
that will fit here and understand it. And that's something that I can say not a lot of people do. They don't take the time to go, okay, what it is. Because again, like I've recruited, let's say, a lot in accounting. I know the skill sets in accounting are very, very simple. Like, you either have done taxes, or you've done audit, or you've done this. And even with an audit, did you do big audits? Did you do small audits? Did you do not-for-profits? Did you do restaurants? Did you do this? So it's niched within a niche, but within accounting firms,
Right.
there's such a difference in how they treat their staff.
Right.
The salary is the same across the board, but the perks, like there's a free gym membership at this one. There's extra benefits and bonuses in this one. There is, flexible time in this one. Those are the things that most people today look at when it comes to making a decision of where's the best place.
These 3 books I'm holding are all going to be launched at the Power of Collaboration event.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. Like I said, it's
very cool. We're going to have 20 of our co-authors in from this book. This is not just me and Joe's book. There's 21 total, including Michael Tracy, the son of Dr. Brian Tracy, who's phenomenal. He's a business owner. He's been in the cooperate world. He's been cooperate training for a very long time. And Michael brings a lot to the table. He will be here in person in Toronto, Canada, July 20th and 21. And I welcome you to get your ticket. Ticket starts at $39 or $40. You want to be there. My ticket is $50,000. Joe's ticket is about $5,000. Is how much he got invested into this event and being there. And we want to be there. We want to be there to answer your question, autograph our books to you, take pictures with you, give you knowledge and skills that you wouldn't have been exposed to. And it's not a biased event. It's an event where I welcome leaders from across the globe at the highest level of their expertise, and they're all coming from South Africa, from Kenya, from Europe, from Sweden, all across North America.
Again, even if there are people that might be in the same industry, they bring a different flavor. They bring a different knowledge. Like, like if I look at like something like video production, there are certain rules for video production, but there's also flavor. And there's I'm going to shoot the video this way. I'm going to do it this way. It's the same, in your areas of expertise. There's a lot of people that go, here, I do Facebook Lives, I do YouTube Lives, but just because you do a Facebook Live doesn't necessarily mean there's a response. Doesn't mean that you're monetizing it. There's skill sets that need to be learned from that. And that's part of the conversation, that even if you're an expert on something, there's an adage in English that says, the moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying.
Right. Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
So think about that in work. If you're in a mindset that I know everything at work, you're mentally tuned up. You're starting to die because you don't care anymore. You're not excited about what you do. Even in your own business, if there's nothing for you to learn in business, or how to run your business, or how to treat your staff, or how to hire people to do your business for you, something's missing. Something is definitely wrong with the way you're thinking about it from a perspective of, uh, you know,
Yeah, and if you're watching and you're joining us now, we're about three-quarter way through this live Facebook interview today, and I just wanted to bring Joe on, and I'm bring for the last week and going into our book launch event, which is in a few weeks from now, July 20th, and I'll share the link, direct link to the Eventbrite address for you to buy your tickets and be there Saturday and Sunday all day. If you come at the VIP level, your meals are included. Your snacks all day, your lunch is included, so you don't have to worry about food. Also, as the producer, the host of the event, I didn't want people to worry about parking and getting wet. This location where our event is at, it's an indoor parking.
Yep.
It's indoor, so if it rain or shine, or sun is hot, you're in the building. You don't have to pay for parking. It's not free either. I have paid for parking on your behalf. Parking is not free. I paid for it for you. Lunch is not free. I paid for it for you at the VIP level. At the platinum level, you get front row seating. And if you're somebody who's like, okay, I always want to get on stage, I will give you the opportunity to get on stage for 30 seconds and tell me who you are and what you do.
Right, and this
for
is where
$300 you can get on stage.
And here's the same example, and this is where I said, like, I think all these extras that you're putting in, I don't think enough people realize the importance of that value add, and that's what makes the event better than another event or different than another
It's
event.
inclusive to everyone.
Because it's like, okay, well, you thought about parking, and parking is what, $5-10?
Oh, it's $10 a day. And then the pain of trying to pay with your credit card or like it's tough.
So those are things that, again, $10 seems minimal, and it's not necessarily a huge deal, but it's a subconscious thing that people are like, oh my god.
No, it takes 5-10 minutes. It takes a while.
I appreciate that I didn't have to deal with that, and it's something simple. And that's why when I say corporate culture, a lot of these things, like, it's so simple to create that environment where it's like, I did this little bit extra, but it's
Yeah, I'm doing corporate culture at my event.
Yeah,
what do you call that? Events culture? It's called being Raymond Harwell. I care about you. I love you. I want to see you at my event. My event is not just my event. It's Joe's event.
It's everybody's. Yeah, exactly.
It's your event. You can take an active role. If you can't afford the ticket for the 2 days as even as general admission, I'm looking for volunteers. If you want to volunteer, you want to learn what goes on in the back end of an event. Hopefully Raymond doesn't yell at anybody, but
again, there's yelling and there's yelling. Look, and here's where, again, it goes bigger and better and simpler. My uncle worked for the company that built the Canada arm in a very high level leadership position.
Okay.
And he told me that
the Canada arm. What is the Canada arm?
So
like Canada has an arm?
No, Canada Space Station. It's the actual arm that goes out to kind of with astronauts and stuff like that.
Okay, kind of that arm is in the clouds. It's in the space.
It's space. It's basically the equivalent of like NASA in the US.
Excellent.
Kind of thing.
Okay, good.
In terms of technology, and he told me that he noticed that the engineers and the software developers sometimes would get so focused on solving the problem that they had to solve that they forgot to eat.
Yeah.
So
that happens to me sometimes.
He had an initiative to basically spend $200-300 at Costco to buy cookies and gummy bears and granola bars and snacks, fruits in the office. He said just doing that, his productivity across the board increased by 20%. So think about space.
I'm doing that for you guys when you come to the Power of Collaboration event, because snacks and break time, there's going to be things for you to munch on. You don't have to go fish and worry about it. I cannot give lunch to everybody for free, only the VIP and the platinum. If you want to bring your own lunch, that's fine. Do that and come at the general level.
But this is what I'm saying. It's a lot of those little things, like the parking, the snacks, the VIPs. It goes a long way because it creates an experience. It creates an experience that people won't forget, because they're like, you know what, even if this or even if that, like, you know what, I appreciate that this was there. And they'll talk about the fact that these extras were there. There was opportunities
if you're watching right now and you comment and you say #book, you get your choice of a free book. Any one of these 3 books are all going to be launching at this event in 2 weeks. If you say hashtag book, then you can claim which of these 3 books you'd like for free. One, not all 3. Come on.
But again, and this is what I'm saying, it's that value add. And because you're making the event as a, not only do we get to learn from experts in their field in a variety of subject matters, but there's plenty of opportunities for people to interact and network themselves and maybe find their own collaboration or their own partnerships.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is more exciting, because I think a lot of times people go to like a networking event and they're just there to collect business cards, but they're not there to actually build that relationship, and they don't really get to the heart of who is this person, what they're there about, how maybe is some of what they're doing synergetic to me, and that, hey, you know what, I need access to this. Like, so you have contacts here. Can you introduce me to some of your contacts? I'll give you a referral.
This is my number one goal in putting this event together, for you to come under one roof and find the leaders in the industry of personal development and business acceleration, in real estate investing, in publishing your book. You want to be a best-selling author. I've brought together the best in the Toronto area, the greater Toronto area, the guys who throw the biggest and best events, bring the greatest leaders and legends into the city. But sometimes I'm also bringing Michael Tracy. But sometimes when the legends are so big, there's no other meat and potato. There's no content.
No, you know? and that's why I'm excited to be part of this event. I'm excited to kind of meet people and talk to them, because at the end of the day, as I said, collaboration, the world can change. You can, do so much. You can do so much with.
So 2 people are getting free their choice of one of these books. I know, Brandy, you probably got this one in your email already, but you can get a physical printed copy. When you say hashtag book and you come to the event, you get your choice of one of these 3 books. Will be actually, and there's a 4th book being launched there too. From this is an individual book. It's not a co-authored book. I'm not in this book, but I've met this amazing young lady in the UK, and she's from Sweden.
Cool.
Sweden. Met her in the UK when I won the Global Authors Award last year, and we got talking. Her husband, Hector, I interviewed him yesterday.
Wow.
And he's in this book. Not only is Hector in this collaborative book with us, his wife, Isabel, has been featured in a documentary. She was the main person in the documentary over 5 years.
Wow.
The documentary won Best Documentary for Sweden. They have their own award system for movie of the year. This one, documentary of the year at the national level, at the highest. Like, it is the documentary of the year, and it was all about Isabel, her story of struggle. It's not a pretty story, and that book, female, if you went through, ladies watching, if you went through abuse, physical abuse, through an addiction and a really tough life she's gone through, and she's overcame them. Not only that, she overcome it personally because of being in this documentary. Over 1 million Swedish people went to the theaters to watch this documentary. Wow. So it's huge. She's a celebrity. She's a superstar, and so we're launching this book. So it's called Isabel Then and Now.
Wow.
So Isabel, because this movie was out, I think maybe 7 years now.
Wow.
And 3 years after, 1 or 5 years ago, and it won the number one documentary of the year, the best documentary of the year. Now I'm working with Isabel to launch her own brand and her
That's
book.
Beautiful.
And Hector, her husband, and us are co-author. So collaboration don't have to be in person and next to each other.
Listen, this is where the world's becoming now, where you look at, what's happening with like things like Uber that you mentioned and things like that. Like, we're becoming we went very far away from the importance of collaboration, but I think we're going back there because we're realizing that human connection, that human experience is so important, and it's what makes a difference. Like, look, we all have a story. We all have had our ups and downs. Even celebrities, you know, you look at their life, you look at them in the media, and you think, oh my God, their life is perfect. But look at all the comedians, like you know, Robin Williams that committed suicide, like, you know, one of the greatest comedians of all time. And then
happiness is hard to find.
yeah, but it's not happiness. It's just dealing with some of the stuff that you've gone through, and just having a platform to share it and honor it, and kind of use that as a, I'm better and I'm doing now something to make a difference in the world, as opposed to letting it eat you up from the inside, for example. And you know, this is why something like an event like this that you're doing, Raymond, is so exciting, because there's a level of you know, I'm learning from different people, different experiences, different knowledge. I'm like, okay, you know what, I don't have an expertise in this. Oh, you just said something about health that intrigued me because I want to be healthier, so you got my attention. You're a social media expert. Okay, you said something that never thought of that. Maybe I should look into that, because that's not something that's in my realm of conversation for them. So I think this is what makes that so exciting and so interesting, is that, you know, there's no one person that knows everything. You know, depending on how religious you are, whatever source, God, you know, the Prophet Muhammad, whoever, whatever name you got, obviously they are the epitome of end all and know all, but each one of us has the ability to be godly. And it's just a matter of developing, okay, you know what, maybe we were tested with a lot of challenges in life, but we're still here. And if we learn how to make that negative into something that's positive, you do things a lot better. You know, most entrepreneurs will tell you that they failed a few times, but they don't even call it failure. They learned how to do it not the way that will get them the results that they want.
Yeah, Warren Buffett says, keep trying new things, because if you win, great, you've won. But if you kind of fail, then you still win, because you learned something new.
Exactly. And I think this is where there's a level of, it's always something that can occur, and how it occurs and when it occurs. And you never know, because the world works in mysterious ways. And sometimes when life's knocking you down, you kind of go, why? What did I do to deserve this? But you don't realize that whatever you're going through, as long as you're strong enough to go through it, you come out better, stronger on the other side. And all of a sudden, when you kind of step into your light, the amount of opportunities are opening up. You know, I've been stuck for 8 years because of what happened 8-9 years ago with my business partner. And in the past year, I met you, I've met other influencers, and all of a sudden the ideas, the creativity, the opportunities are there, because people are like, oh, can we partner up? Can we do this? And so it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Collaborating, because you know what? You can do this and I can do this, and together we produce something that's, you know, offers an opportunity for that success and experience and anything else that you want to call it, in terms of bigger, better, and stronger.
Yeah, and we're about to have 5 minutes until we're coming off, and you can rewatch this if you join it late sometime. It's going to also be up on YouTube in a few days, and so we appreciate you. We thank you for watching, joining us today. Your questions.
And thank you, Raymond, for having me. It's been an honor and a pleasure, and I'm super excited about being part of the book launch event, and doing a lot of more business and collaboration with you, because you know, opportunities are everywhere.
Yes, it's a matter of seizing the moment, locking in the opportunities, safeguarding everybody involved. Make sure I know what I bring to the table, what you bring to the table. Put it on pen and paper, and then create an actionable plan to achieve it.
Absolutely. And I think this is where, when you have an understanding that, okay, I'll do this and I'll do this, but we both win at the end of the day, you move forward much faster, because you don't have to figure everything out yourself. You don't have to spend, like, you know, if I were to start recording videos myself, I'd probably do it wrong for a few times. So there's a level of, I'm leveraging expertise and kind of networks and people, and this all helps things move forward in the right direction.
And these books are going to be launched. Like, these books were created less than 3 months ago. 3 months ago, these were just ideas. Well, Your book was existing. It's published. You can get your copy on Amazon. You want to wait for the revised one, so it'll be a bit cheaper and lighter in your arms. But yeah, in 3 months, less than 3 months, we came up to with the idea of republishing this a revised edition. Less than 3 months ago, I shot this video, and of course, you can see people are buying tickets for the Power of Collaboration. The notice,
awesome.
yeah, get your tickets, get your tickets, get your tickets. Like,
Yeah.
My email tells me when people are getting tickets. Oh, we appreciate you. We want to see you at the Power of Collaboration 2019. This is not my first rodeo. Just look at the lineup of people. It's there's no bosses here. There's no right or wrong. It's just good content, great people.
Yeah.
Good content, great people. I gotta save that. That should be my line. The Power of Collaboration is about good content and great people. Look how I come up with cool lines, right?
And at the end of the day, you never know what conversation could be your aha moment, because somebody said it in a way that just resonated so beautifully with you and resonated with, oh my God, you know what? That was the missing link for me.
Most events I've attended, no matter what, I met all the legends. I went to their event, meet them in person. But magics, it's harder for me and Les Brunk to tie up a deal. Well, of course, he forwarded my last book, or me and Brian Tracy. Of course, he endorsed this book, and I'm co-authoring with him. But it's easier for me to meet people at a Brian Tracy event and do things with them.
Right.
Or the people you're going to be sitting next to at the event matters. That's why you want to get up in the platinum seating, because that's where the speakers are going to be sitting. That's where some of the co-authors are going to be speaking. So if you want to just rub off, just get the higher ticket. You even get on stage. Okay, if you're in platinum and you're like, I'm spending $300 per platinum, but I don't want to speak on. That's fine. Somebody's going to take your stage time. I'll take it. I'll take your 30 seconds.
I'll take it too if you want. At the end of the day, sometimes just going, here, I do this, and this is my expertise, could be enough to all of a sudden land you 10 clients right then and there that nobody thought of, or coming into the event didn't think, I need this. But the way you spoke or the way you shared your story makes it so amazing that they're like, okay, I'd like to experience this. I'd like to see what this is about, and maybe learn how to do this as a business, or learn how to monetize it, or whatever. And so it's amazing what the conversations could be.
And with Joe, like, we're telling you how to be the best you can be, how to position you in your light. Because Joe is an expert. If you had 10 years of schooling already, don't throw that away. You can find a high income job and also do your entrepreneurial journey on the side, and then transition later, or keep both going. So there's always an opportunity. And I help you to brainstorm and bring your dreams to reality and see what your passion is. Because if you read Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, she explained that she became a lawyer and she wasn't all excited about it. Most people become lawyers and doctors because their parents want them to, or they think it's a lot of work or a lot of money, not realizing they have to devote their whole life to that.
I've switched careers 16 times because I didn't know what I want to do when I grow up. Right. So when I reached a certain plateau, I got bored with it, and I was like, okay, what's next? And I wasn't fulfilled. But helping people find a job they love, helping organizations kind of hire the right people, get that corporate culture, and grow their business, I derive a lot of pleasure from it, and I get excited thinking about the impact I can make and the ripple effect on, not just the people that get hired, but their family, their kids, because they're happier in life, and it goes through and through.
Did I tell you a story about one comment I got on YouTube before we close this off? There was one guy that commented. I have over 2 million views on my YouTube channel on my training videos now. And most people are like, thank you, Raymond. Great. You helped me find a job. Most time you helped me find a job.
Right.
And I even had an encounter where one guy came into the warehouse I was working, and he knew me because my YouTube video got him his license, because he only looked at my video and wrote his test and passed.
Wow.
And there's another story. My uncle, we lived together, and he used to work in a warehouse, and he said people came into our warehouse to train us internally, and they played my YouTube video as a training video for them.
Wow.
And he had an issue trying to explain to his coworker that that's my nephew. And they would not believe him until he took a selfie with me and took it to show them. So that's the power of putting out good content.
Yeah.
And the most important and the most life-changing comment I got on YouTube was when one guy said, Raymond, you made my children's Christmas bright.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Like that's next level.
Yeah, I mean, that's beautiful.
Like, yeah, I get. He could have said because of you helped me get a job, but he went to the second. I didn't give him nothing. I didn't donate nothing to him, but I put out good content, and because of that, he was able to get a job. And I have to print out that email or comment.
Yeah,
Like,
those are the things that you
phenomenal.
always cherish and that
It's-
you keep forever. And then those are the things that sometimes, you realize it's not just today. I have people that I've coached years ago come back to me and say, you know what, I've switched jobs 3 or 4 times. Every time I go back to what you taught me, to the notes that I have from you, and every time it's worked. And thank you, because 3 years ago I was making $40,000. Now I'm making $120,000.
Yes,
It's all because I had the
Yes.
confidence in myself to
yes.
show that I have something of value to offer to my
Wow.
employees. So I totally get what you're saying there, and I have lots of those comments, and I cherish those comments when people come back to me and say, you know what, thank you, you made a difference, kind of thing. I love that.
If you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead and share it in the comment section. Tag somebody and say, "Hey, you need to watch this." If you need to find a new job, if you're underpaid, you're unemployed, connect with Joseph. He's going to help you to mentor you and package you and promote you to get the right job. If you want to step out into the get branded as a person. And Hector, we were covering Hector's chapter where he said you should get branded personally, you should get branded with your company, and you should have a product and service to sell. And that's something I help you to do. Creating books or content that are products and service.
Similarly, if you're an executive in a company and you need help building your team or kind of making sure that your employees are happy, that's part of what I do as a corporate culture, is the employee return. Not only recruitment for you, but I also help you with the creating that corporate culture, corporate social responsibility element of it, and making sure that the little things that you do make such an impact that people are lined up to work for you, and you never have to worry about turnover. Because I think, just to close off, studies show that turnover in a company will cost between $40,000 and $180,000 per month for a company to lose one good employee.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that is, because it offsets the entire. Joe is full of wealth, full of information, and if he sits here, we can go on for days. And but you want to make use of him, connect with him personally. He will start by just updating your LinkedIn profile and your resume. Even if you're gainfully employed right now, you might be underemployed. You never know until you.
And a lot of people are. A lot of
connect
people
with
are
Joe.
underemployed.
If you want to be an author, speaker, and mentor, this is the book for you. I've covered 33 principles to go pro as an author, speaker, and mentor. And it's a general framework of all the things you need to do and cover. It's 33 principles. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to do this one thing and I'm considered an author, speaker, mentor. And if you want to go down that road, go to RaymondHarlaw.com, my website, and you can get this book downloaded instantly. A few people said hashtag book. It means you get to choose one of these books when you come to the Power of Collaboration event, July 20th and 21 in Toronto, Canada. We thank you. We appreciate your time most of all.
And I'm looking forward to meeting all of you and sharing ideas with you guys and seeing where we might have opportunities to work together and grow each other's business.
Yeah, it's not only what you're going to learn at the event, but what you're going to learn from the people you sit next to, the connections you make, the people you have lunch with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
the people, I met my mentor, and you can see him on this banner here, Dr. George Grant. He's my mental health and wellness mentor, this guy. And because he's one of the main person that me and him, we put together the last book, the handbook to holistic health. I met him in a washroom at an event. I said, "Hey, you're a doctor?" Yeah. I'm like, "What kind of doctor?" We're washing hands, guys. Don't get any ideas, right? But in the washroom, but I was at the right place at the right time. and you never know. All it takes is one connection. You're one connection away from hitting gold. So come out, come to the Power of Collaboration, July 20 and 21. I'm going to share the link with you, and people are buying tickets. Even as we're doing this live, tickets are being bought. There's only limited, over 100 is sold. There's just less than 100 tickets left. You grab your tickets, bring a friend, a family. Children under 12 are free. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Why do I do this? Because they're not stupid. Stop having them play video games and come to event on your own. You need to bring them with.
Yes.
Bring them with. If it's an infant, they're going to be crying. Maybe get a babysitter. But once a child can sit there and learn something, or play in the hallways, or come in, the environment is amazing. Teenager between 12 and 18 are half price.
And again, I think it's such important to start young, because when you get them to see what's possible, it's not anymore, oh, I want to work at McDonald's. It's, I want to grow. I want to have those opportunities. And it's amazing how much we forget that, the faster you're exposed to something, the more you can kind of see if it's something.
You want to learn a new language, go live in France.
Yeah.
If you want to learn French, and Spain if you want to learn Spanish. And so we thank you. We appreciate you. We've gone over our time just a little bit. Leave a comment, ask a question. Myself and Joe, just say at Raymond if you have a question for me, or at Joe, and tag us, and we'll see it. Share this video if it resonates with you, and share it in a group. Brandy she's been with us from the beginning of this video to the end. It's over an hour. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
And I this is going to be me and you, Brandy, soon promoting our book, Level Up, being published with myself and Dr. Obambo. I appreciate you, and Adi, it has been with us from the start to end, and you're amazing. Your wedding was phenomenal. Congratulations to you both again,
Thank you.
Joe
Thank
and
you.
Adi.
Yes,
your family and friends are phenomenal. I get to learn some Hebrew at your wedding, which is even better. And listening, I'm Christian, and reading the Bible, most of the word have a Hebrew origin.
Yeah.
And so, and you are from
Israel,
like the country, and Joe is from Israel. So it was just an amazing experience for me attending your wedding.
Thank you, and it's an honor. And like I said, first of all, thank you for having me on this live, and I'm so excited that you and I are looking at businesses and growing together and doing multiple things.
You can join us.
I recommend it to anybody that feels that they don't know how to do everything. Collaborate with people and get that knowledge shared and move forward together, kind of thing.
Come to the Power of Collaboration. Say #book right now. #book in this comment, and you can choose one of these books, autographed by the author, at the event. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you.